So what if AI could read, anything? I'm not just talking about clean, typed up documents. I'm talking about messy handwriting, super complex formulas, even those crazy artistic signs you see out in the real world. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today. For years, decades really, getting a computer to just reliably read something like this kind of messy, real-world handwriting, well, it's been a huge, huge challenge for AI. But what if I told you there's a new approach that isn't just solving this old problem, but it's completely changing the game, blowing way past what we even thought was possible? Okay, so to really get why this is such a big deal, we've got to take a step back and look at the old way of doing things. The kind of clumsy, old school method for teaching a machine how to read. The tech behind all this is called optical character recognition, or OCR for short. And its job sounds simple, right? Just turn the text you see in a picture into data that a computer can actually understand and work with. So, the old school OCR, it works like a clunky factory assembly line. It's this whole multi-step process. First, you have one system that tries to figure out the layout of the page. Then another machine comes along and tries to find where the text is. And then, a final system tries to actually recognize each and every character. It's a lot of steps. And here's the problem with that. It creates something called a pipeline effect. Think of it like that game of telephone you played as a kid. If that very first module makes just a tiny mistake, say it messes up the layout a bit, that error gets passed down the line. It gets amplified at each step until, by the end, the final result is just complete gibberish. Okay, so that's the old, broken way. What's the new, smarter approach? Well, it's all about unifying the act of seeing with the act of understanding. And believe me, the difference is like night and day. We're throwing out that clumsy old pipeline. The modern solution is something called a vision language model, or VLM. It just completely gets rid of the assembly line and replaces it with one single unified system. Right, so instead of that clunky assembly line with different workers who don't talk to each other, a VLM is more like a master chef. This chef handles the entire process, from picking the freshest ingredients to plating the final perfect dish. It combines vision, the seeing part, and language, the reasoning part, all into one elegant system. And this is where it gets really interesting. This brings us to the hero of our story today, a brand new VLM that was built for one purpose: to completely master the art of reading. Its name is HunyuanOCR. So let's meet HunyuanOCR. This is a new model coming out of Tencent, and what's cool is that it has the power and performance of a commercial-grade system, but it's also completely open source. That means anyone can use it, tinker with it, and build on top of it. But here's the real kicker. In this age where we're hearing about AI models with trillions of parameters, right? HunyuanOCR has just 1 billion. It's so small and lightweight, which frankly makes its performance, well, it's nothing short of shocking. So what makes it so special? Well, for starters, it's got that fully end-to-end architecture. No more clumsy pipeline. It's an all-in-one system, so it can handle a whole bunch of different tasks. It is super, super efficient. And as you're about to see, its performance is, well, it's just flat out better. Okay, so what is the secret sauce? How is this relatively tiny AI punching so far above its weight class? It really comes down to its architecture, which is just elegant. There are 3 key pieces. You've got a high-quality vision system that sees the image crystal clear, no distortion. Then you have a lightweight but really powerful language model to actually understand the context of the text. And finally, there's this clever little connector that acts as the perfect bridge between the seeing and the reasoning. But here is the real breakthrough, the part that's a genuine first. This is the first OCR model in the entire industry to use reinforcement learning. What does that mean? It basically learns from trial and error. It gets a reward for every right answer, which lets it fine-tune its skills to a level we've just never seen before in this space. And it's this advanced training that gives it this incredible versatility. I mean, look at this. It can read a super dense financial document with perfect accuracy. And then, without skipping a beat, it can turn around and figure out complex, handwritten math formulas. It's just wild. And it's not just for complex stuff. It can handle the everyday things, like the receipts you need for your expense reports. But then it can also decipher this really artistic, stylized text you'd see on a sign out in the real world. I mean, the versatility is just, it's off the charts. All right, but talk is cheap, right? let's get to the numbers. Let's look at the data and really put this new contender to the test.
And yeah, the results pretty much speak for themselves. Take a look. In text spotting, that's finding text out in the wild, our little 1 billion parameter model scores almost a 71. That blows past the big commercial APIs. Then you look at document parsing, and it hits nearly 83.5, beating out other specialized models. This little guy isn't just competing with the giants, it's winning.
So, okay, we have this incredible new tech, but let's zoom out for a second. What's the bigger picture here? Why does any of this matter? Why is it such a big deal that the future is suddenly readable? Well, for one, it means we can finally unlock all the knowledge that's been trapped for centuries in billions of pages of historical archives. It means we can digitize and analyze mountains of medical records to find life-saving patterns. And because it's so small and efficient, this tech can run right on our phones and devices, making our apps way smarter. And maybe the most important thing of all, it can read the world around us to create better, cleaner data, which is the fuel we need to train the next generation of AI. You know, for the first time, we are right on the edge of having an AI that can read and actually understand pretty much any text it sees. And that brings us to one last thought to leave you with. The question really isn't, can AI read anymore? The new question is, if AI can read everything, what on earth are we going to unlock next?